If you're watching this video, you might have listened to Taylor Swift's new album and felt a little disappointed. And 2 days later, you're in love, even defending it. I know I have. And it's not just fandom, it's neuroscience. Today, we're going to take a look at how your brain processes her songs, persona, and brand, and why your brain craves them. Essentially, why you stay hooked even when, at times, she disappoints. Why our brains stay loyal even when our ears are unsure. Hi, I'm Dr. Ray. Welcome to my channel. I make videos that go beyond the classroom and relate topics you're familiar with to our everyday lives. If you enjoy this kind of video and content, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to get more videos like this. So today, join me on a deep dive into dopamine, the nucleus accumbens, and what it means to be a Swiftie. I only have to say all too well the 10-minute version, and you hear it in your head. You might even remember where you used to listen to it. It's almost like a classically trained Pavlovian response, and that's called the unconditioned stimulus. You feel the emotions that are associated with it, what's called the unconditional response. When you listen to Taylor during those emotional times, the amygdala tags stimuli with emotional salience and helps consolidate the association with help from the hippocampus. Over time, those cues like the melody, the lyrics, and even the timbre of her voice can trigger emotional memory. Hearing the song later can cause the amygdala and the hippocampus to reactivate the emotional memory. You don't understand why you feel the song so deeply, but your brain does. So that's how we get to love Taylor Swift. Now we can move on to the operant conditioning of the reward of anticipation. When you found out on August 25th that the album was going to drop on October 3rd, dopaminergic neurons in the ventral tegmental area projecting to the nucleus accumbens increased their activity in anticipation of the reward. In many cases, anticipatory dopamine signaling for something like an album can be as large or larger than when the album itself drops. This is a key feature of the prediction-based reward system. Your brain is literally rewarding itself for expecting to be rewarded when the album releases. And this is before you ever hear a note. Every time she releases a new album, your brain experiences variable reinforcement. You don't know when the album's going to drop or if the album's going to be good. But believe it or not, this unpredictability is much more effective at increasing dopamine release than predictable events. Some people call this the slot machine effect because it's variable, mostly disappointing, but extremely engaging. Variably reinforced responses become very persistent and are difficult to extinguish. So your fandom is self-reinforcing. It's a behavior that's sustained by intermittent emotional wins. The last parts of emotional conditioning are the prefrontal cortex, which rationalizes and predicts outcomes, and the ventral striatum, which is centrally involved in signaling reward prediction error. Up until the album release, dopamine was released in anticipation, so you got the reward even when the payoff was weaker than expected. Then, your prefrontal areas supported the reinterpretation of the mismatch, maybe with something like, she's evolving artistically. This internal narrative preserves the years of limbic training that we've had because our brain can't stand to be disappointed, especially after investing so much emotional energy. If you were a little meh about Taylor's new album, would you believe me if I told you that your brain literally started to rewire itself just to love it? This is something called the mere exposure effect. Psychologically, the mere exposure effect says that repeated exposure to a stimulus increases our liking of it. It's a robust and predictable response. It starts with the first time you hear Taylor's new song. Your sensory cortex and prediction systems are flooded with novelty, complexity, and uncertainty. Your brain resists because anything new takes a lot of energy to process, and your brain doesn't like unpredictability. But every time you play it, your neurons get a little bit better at predicting what comes next. Every time you make a successful prediction, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. This familiarity lowers the uncertainty and increases processing fluency, which makes you happy. Digging a little deeper, the primary and secondary auditory cortices are where auditory input becomes music in your brain. The auditory cortex is working hard to parse pitch, rhythm, harmony, and melody. You experience this as a cognitive load or even a little discomfort. It's like trying to follow a conversation in a different language. It's also a little bit similar to why college classes can be hard at the beginning. But your brain's favorite thing in the world is getting better at predicting. It's literally a prediction machine specifically built for it. You start to learn where the beat drops, when the hook starts, and how she resolves the melody. Here's where the chemistry kicks in. When your brain successfully predicts what comes next in a song, dopaminergic systems show positive prediction error reward signaling that reinforces learning. Positive reward prediction errors, when outcomes are better than expectations, trigger phasic dopamine increases. Now, if you're surprised a little bit and still get the prediction right, that can produce a strong phasic response. In other words, more dopamine. And we all know that Taylor's great at lyrical twists or little melodic surprises. It's really a defining feature of Taylor's songs. Just enough predictability for your brain to feel safe, but enough novelty to make it thrilling. While there's not an exact number, as early as the 5th or 6th listen, your auditory cortex isn't just hearing the song, it's starting to expect it. Your dopamine system is rewarding that accuracy, and your emotional centers are saying, "This feels right." Now, I'm not normally a betting man, but I would bet that Taylor Swift, Max Martin, and Shellback know this neuropsychology. Music is perfectly situated to play on this mechanism. It's temporally structured to a beat, perfect for predictive learning. It's emotionally charged without the real-world consequences, so Taylor's breakup isn't your breakup. And it's repetitive, which provides the perfect conditions for reinforcement. Every play is operant conditioning for your learning system, even if you hear it on the radio. The song very quickly starts to feel like part of you. Your brain has literally built a neural model for it. It's become a familiar friend that lives in the same place as your memories and motivations. So when you give Taylor's Meh song a second chance, you're actually giving your brain the opportunity to fall in love with it. It's not that the song is bad, it's that your brain hasn't learned to love it yet. By now, we've taken a look at how your brain emotionally bonded with Taylor Swift through conditioning and learned to love her music through the mere exposure effect. Now, what happens when she releases a song that doesn't quite hit the way you expect, and you still find yourself defending it? That's where our last cognitive process comes in, cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is your brain's way of protecting itself from discomfort when your thoughts and emotions don't align. That work is happening deep inside your brain in a region called the anterior cingulate cortex. It helps reconcile conflict to help you find mental peace even when your playlist and your opinions don't match up. It gets input from both the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system, which makes it an arbiter between your rational and emotional mind. Cognitive dissonance is the mental tension you feel when two beliefs or emotions contradict each other. You love Taylor Swift, but you're not in love with her new album. They're both true, but your brain hates that inconsistency. So the anterior cingulate cortex lights up like a warning system. Something isn't adding up. Your rational evaluation and your emotional loyalty are out of sync. This psychological discomfort can't go on. So the anterior cingulate cortex recruits the prefrontal cortex to solve it. It starts rationalizing. Maybe she's experimenting with a new sound, or this album will grow on me. You start to reconcile the dissonance. The neurochemicals involved in this negotiation are dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. You are flooded with dopamine during the anticipation of the release, and now you're nervously trying to learn the lyrics. You're still getting dopamine, but not as much as before the album dropped, so you feel a little bit uneasy. At the same time, norepinephrine from the locus ceruleus increases. This is responsible for increasing your alertness and makes you feel a little bit on edge. Your brain wants to do something to resolve the tension. That's why you keep replaying the song or rationalizing your unmet expectations. Meanwhile, the serotonin system steps in to act as an emotional stabilizer. It modulates the anterior cingulate cortex and the prefrontal cortex, metaphorically acting like your brain's built-in antidepressant. It softens the sting and helps you tolerate the emotional noise long enough for your rational mind to reframe the story. You think, maybe it's more mature. That's your prefrontal cortex coming back online, working with the anterior cingulate cortex to rewrite the narrative. And when it does, you get a dopamine reward for the mental resolution. You feel better when things make sense again. We crave internal consistency. Brain would rather reinterpret reality than admit it was wrong. I have good taste because I like Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift is brilliant. So you went from, I don't really get this, to actually, it's brilliant. It's not just fandom, it's a full-blown neurochemical peace treaty. Your brain held two opposing ideas and built a bridge between them. You might even double down on your love of Taylor's new direction to silence any remaining doubt left in your mind. When you put all of this together, it really starts to make sense why Taylor Swift isn't just a pop star. We've learned that evolution doesn't betray authenticity. It defines it. Our ability to navigate these complex neuropsychological pathways is what keeps us as fans, but also keeps us as human. Music pairs sound and emotion through classical conditioning. Repeated exposures weave her stories into our neural circuits, and even disappointment can't break the spell. The anterior cingulate cortex turns cognitive dissonance into understanding and eventually back to loyalty. And we can't forget about the ongoing reward from anticipation. This album was released on 10/3, and the next album is her 13th. We have expectations. In the end, it's not Taylor Swift's music or lyrics that we're responding to, it's the architecture of our own minds. And music is masterfully positioned to cause all of this to happen. For myself, I feel the spark with at least some of the new album. A mix of nostalgia, excitement, and connection, and many of you probably do too. We're not crazy, we're just human. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. Find meaning, find belonging, and find itself in the music we love. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to leave a comment. I'd really like to hear what you guys think about the album. And let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see me make in the future. Catch you next time.